Je suis là demain toute la journée, donc à partir de 10h30.
Hello. Well, first of all, thank you, Port of Barcelona, and definitely thank you, Smartport, for organizing such amazing events. I'm Estelle Linget. I'm a transaction advisor and strategic advisor, and I work a lot with the startup industry in the shipping and logistic industry. And I'm deeply honored today to have such amazing panel to moderate with amazing CEOs, successful CEOs, or to be successful CEOs, but also great advisors. But let me first present you our amazing panel today, and we're going to start with Karno. So, Karno, you have a deep experience of the ship intelligent business. You're today CEO of Awake.AI. So, let me say it. Your company is a holistic AI data platform providing birth planning solution analytics services. Am I good? Good.
Thank you. Yes.
Awake.AI has recently won the Frost & Sullivan Entrepreneur Company Award. We are absolutely glad to have you.
Thank you.
Well, Alexandru Huzau, you're a serial entrepreneur. You're the CEO of YLoad, and it's an ecosystem-driven software solution for logistics and supply chain in Europe. Well, originally you were active more in the fleet management of trucks, but your company is rapidly expanding.
Yeah.
Happy to have you, Alexandru.
Happy that you invite me, thank you.
Great. And then we have Miguel. Miguel Silva-Constenla, you're from here. It's easy for you.
Easy.
You're the CEO and co-founder of AllRead, and AllRead, let me say it out loud, is automatic reading software for logistic clients and ports.
That's right.
Your solutions captures and extracts container handling and transit information in ports and terminals.
That's
Am
right.
I right?
Yep.
Thank you to be there.
Perfect.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
And then, of course, we have Olivier Edwards. Olivier Edwards is a lawyer at Edwards and Praly, and he's a seasoned expert. Yes, you are.
Yes.
You've done numerous deals into the shipping and logistic industry, and on top of that, you are to be called a unicorn breeder. Welcome, and we're definitely fortunate to have you. Well, my dear panelists, we met for an awesome event, which was Tech Tour 6 months ago. And by that time, I mean, the event was absolutely awesome. Hosted by Port of Barcelona, Tech Tour had been really supportive. We have managed to meet a lot of people, VCs and startups all together for the shipping industry for the first time. But let me say that out loud. Since that event, things have changed on the market. Firms are much more difficult to find. The VCs tend to be more selective, to look at the business model, to look for profitability before investing maybe sometimes. For some startups, it's more and more difficult to, let's say, go beyond the proof of concept. And for some of them, let's say it out loud, they will never make it to scale. That's brings me to my first question, and you're going to be the first, Karno. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, let's go. So, Karno, what is it that you've been doing over the last 6 months? How do you stand with your fundraising quests? Just to tell us a little bit of your success, less successful, how you feel the market.
Yeah, thanks. Well, in all, we have raised closer to 10 million already in our history, and we did a small round in the past 6 months. But it's more this time has been now forced us to focus on being profitable. So we actually turned, during the crisis, the company to being profitable, and now we're targeting a bigger round by next summer. So.
Well, but that's, I mean, get it. But in the context, it's absolutely awesome, right?
It is.
Great.
Very proud of that.
Cool. And Alexandru, it seems that you have had some good news recently. Maybe you want to give us some insight about it.
Yeah, we, in the couple of 6 months before we come to Barcelona, Barcelona is a good city for us because after we finish the tech tour, we just been fundraising by an investor in the same night. And what can I say? Right now we prepare a next round between 8 and 10 million. We have secured more than 50% from VCs and from strategic investors because we want only strategic investors till right now. But right now we are going to VC from United States and even Europe. And more than that, because we are a business that we need capital, we have secured some money for the capital.
Well, that sounds absolutely amazing. Well done.
Yeah, it's amazing because we are from the part of Europe where we need to be profitable from the first day.
True.
And the revenue is not so important like the profit. Even you cannot grow so fast because you need to make profit. But if you watch right now on the market, everybody wants profit more than revenue, right?
Okay, I think we'll discuss profit a little bit later as well, but great. Anyway, Miguel, how about you?
Well, a good question because we just finished a fundraising this month. So I believe the last year was the idea of fundraising was overrated and sales revenue was underrated. Now it's the opposite. They're looking for revenue growth. You don't have the key metrics, forget about it. So it's a big switch from the last year to this year. If you don't have the proper due diligence, the proper growth, the proper revenue, I don't think you're going to get fundraising right now.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. So this means that there's going to be like same amount of funds given, but maybe to fewer startups, and those must have demonstrate profitability potential.
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe build a potential, but we'll touch that later.
Every stage is there, but you need to show potential.
Okay, get it. And indeed, with this like inflation context of funds that are difficult to find, does that have an impact on the strategy and the way you consider your exit potential? I'm referring here to the recent move of Project 44 towards CME-CGM and Maersk. That brings a little bit of new area, like not only VCs get into the loop now, but we have also a lot of corporate strategy around this. What do you feel? And maybe Karno first again.
Well, I mean, Awake.AI is now 4 years old, a company, and we are at the crossroads of choosing the path of do we go for the VC route or do we go for the CVC route and this kind of strategic partnerships. And honestly, I think for us, the corporate partnerships and CVC route might be better. So if we think how to really scale with partners who are already in the market, and you could find these kind of customer scaling partners while you do the investment. Because if you go for the VC route, you have to build all those things yourself. So there's more risk in that.
Indeed. So you're like getting more options on the table and at least looking at the corporate option.
I'm leaning towards that. I'm not still.
Okay. I mean, if some of this follow you, this means that maybe that could be that could give some ideas to the ports, to the big shipping lines, and to others. But let's say that might be something to look at going forward.
Yeah,
is that what you will share as well, Miguel?
Well, I believe you will be very stupid if you don't look at the macroeconomic situation, to be honest.
Okay.
But at the same time, we are in cargo. Main clients are carrier companies, ports, operators. And this is a business never stops, 24/7. So whatever happens in the macro environment, shipping has to be there. So they never stop. So, well, it's a kind of trade-off, right? You need to look at the macroeconomic environment for fundraising, for pricing as well. Some clients as well in some areas, for example, in Europe, in Germany, could be affected big time for that. Actually, we got experience about that. But I strongly believe, we are in LATAM as well. LATAM is growing massively in the digitization of ports. So you need to look at the macro environment and make the right decisions in the right time. If not, you're going to regret it later on. Yeah, big time.
And maybe with some recession coming up, this is again something that we might look at.
Exactly. Yeah, true.
And Olivier, you know a lot of companies in the market. You work with a lot of them. What is your feeling about it? Have you seen the same or?
Well, one of my favorite motto is one bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, or take the money and run. As I can't remember his name now, but anyway, and let me tell you a story to illustrate that. I mean, back in the 2000 and something, I advised a company named Daily Motion, Dailymotion was very well financed at the time, but they had an offer on the table for 300 million. But the investment banker said, don't sell before $1 billion. The result of that was that 2 or 3 years later, they were sold at 100 million. So it's a balance between your dream and what's on the table. And if what's on the table is enough, well, take it while it's still there, because it may go, just like twinkle of an eye.
Totally. So, guys, that might be your, okay? Alexandru, what about you? Is that like strategic partnership, M&A things rings bell for you?
Yeah, we have an announcement, but we will not give right now.
Okay.
It is possible to make a move like Project 44. It's a strategic company that can come near us and open the whole, let's say, global market.
Okay.
So right now I'm thinking to take what I have on the table, or so to take 300 or to take 100 after 5 years, like Oliver say, right?
Okay, well, this is kind of a new, so we will follow that closely, definitely. Quite interesting. So we discussed the strategy, we discussed the funding, but we had a question, and I think within the preparation, Karno, we spoke about that. There might be something missing that could help you grow quicker, or maybe quickly, and especially with the ports. Is that? I mean, I think it's good rating that up so that we can like foster even further.
Yeah, well, I've been in this industry. I'm in maritime logistics all my working career, and the industry has a bit of a challenge that they don't know how to actually buy or do proof of concepts or smaller experiments. I think it would help that, I mean, if everybody would have a kind of small experiment budget to do things faster and more agile way. Before I founded Awake.AI, I was leading the Rolls-Royce digital business, and I always had an experiment budget to do things fast and get the development forward. But here, if you have to do bigger tenders and it takes the lead times, even for a smaller proof of concept, is so long, then it doesn't really attract investors, or it doesn't attract new startups to the industry. So we have to do something about it.
Well, always difficult within the public space, but indeed, if there is any improvement to be considered to help, to foster, at least to accelerate the type of contract that STERP could build with the ports and with other public authority in general, that would definitely be awesome. But indeed, might be more difficult to tackle, but point taken, obviously. We have had as well, by preparing this, because we prepared, by the way. So we have had discussion around the role of the advisor and how the advisor was necessary or a must-have to have a positive outcome within your funding strategy or exit strategy. And Alexandru, you had a kind of a big input on that one.
Yeah, I think in our opinion, the advisor, it's a key of success for the startups, but you need to take person to wait for the right day when he will open the door. And yes, right now he opened door for us. Yeah, but depends. You need to take the right advisor for the right market, and you need to involve him in the company, right?
I get it. Well, Miguel, I think you had another point of view.
Really? Well, my point is totally that advisors are overrated, totally.
Sure.
The only advisor you need is a good lawyer. Good lawyer, the first one has to be a good lawyer. The rest are totally overrated. Because if you need a good advisor, hire him or hire her, right? Why you need someone coming 1 hour every month to your office to tell you about what, to advise you about what? You got a team with 30 people, 14 hours per day, working in logistics. Who is going to be an advisor to you? You hire him or hire her, right? So basically, I strongly believe the best advisor you need is a lawyer, and the rest is your team. Good advisors have to be in the company, not to be outside the company.
Yeah, you spoke about involvement as well.
Total involvement, yeah.
Whether you're involved, then you can come and you're a great advisor. And if you're not fully involved, then you might not be a great advisor.
You see, someone agrees, someone disagrees as well. Well, but that's the point. I agree to disagree.
I get that we might have some question within the audience later. But first, let me come to Olivier. Of course, you said that
thank you for what you said about lawyers.
Sure.
Well, I would say you have to be careful about advisors. I mean, the story I just told you about this investment bank that said you don't sell at 300 but sell at $1 billion. Well, it means that whatever the advisors you have to exercise your mind, and common sense is probably the best value that you can have. The other, for me, a good advisor is also, somebody who has common sense and also somebody who knows how to listen. Now, the lawyer, by definition, should be somebody who listens more than talk. I'm talking about legal advisors, not, litigators. Litigators have to talk. The advisor has to listen. And on that basis, the advice I always give to entrepreneurs is get your lawyer even before you negotiate the term sheet. Because one of the value that we bring to the table is that we know the market. Because we do a number of deals, we know what market practice is. And if the term sheet deviates from that, we're able to say, look, this is acceptable, but this is not. This is where as you said, you have to choose your battles. And choosing your battle is very important. And what I'm saying about the term sheet usually is, it's like, when you negotiate, you go to the doctor. Once you have the term sheet, you go to the chemist. But the chemist will only give you what's on the term sheet. So once you have accepted, a full ratchet, well, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a weighted average ratchet. Well, for what that means, it doesn't really matter to know that you don't know what that means. But in other words, you got a tough condition. It will be very difficult to you because every time the investor will say, "Oh, yeah, but it's not on the term sheet." So this is one thing as far as advisors are concerned. The other thing that has really that I've learned over the years is that for a company to present itself to investors, one thing that is very important is the composition of the board. And in this respect, your independent members should be picked up very carefully because they are more than the investors, the one who will open doors to you. Investors, yes, they do, but they always, I'm sorry for the investors that are there, but they promise a lot. Very few of them hold their promises. But the independent members has to be an expert in your industry, and this guy has to be picked up for you, by you, to open the doors that you need to be opened. So the network of that person, the network of this individual is very important. And when you come to a panel of investors with a very strong board, well, that will put the balance on your side as compared to a company who has a friends and family board.
Get it, and I think Miguel, we discussed that. So you had an independent board member.
Well, I believe it's coming a moment in your startup, your company, that maybe the board is very important. Corporate governance is underrated as well sometimes. So it's coming a moment when you raise 10 million, like these guys. So you need really corporate governance because the next round, the VC is going to look at your paperwork. If your house is not clean, it's not going to invest. Whatever is your product, your team, whatever, if your house is not clean, we'll never invest. And corporate governance, good board, independent board, very solid board, will create a very good image and a solid project to the investors. So basically, I believe it's very healthy to bring independent investors to the board,
In those times that it could be a little bit complex, it brings a little bit of something a little bit peaceful.
Not in the beginning, no, in early stage, but when you're in Series A, you have to count the corporate governance big time because it's going to be the first time they're going to look in your books, the next due diligence, basically.
Okay, thank you. Let me turn to, I would like to know whether I have sufficient time for question with my panel member or if we need to go for the Q&A now. Shall we go for the Q&A straight? Seems so. Okay, it's not yet. Prepare your question because I have another one for my panel member here. So we discussed that as well, but I wanted to hear about your main challenges, but in the near term. And please, like, if you had things in mind to pop up, and they would be very short, very clear, what would it be? Alexandru, what is like your top of mind challenges for 2023?
When you work with companies, when you work with other companies, not to see you as a startup, as a small company, employee hand hunting the people that you need, and I think the team it's very important, right?
Well, I think like there is not any. There is everybody here. Everybody called the issue about hiring people this year, and I think Karno, you have that one as well.
Well, finding good software and AI developers is really hard. Good ones.
Okay,
if
now you have an announcement to make.
I'm hiring, so let me know.
And you had some other issue to tackle as well.
Well, I mean, I already mentioned that some of the main challenge that for us next year is finding the right go-to-market and investor partners. So I've set myself a target by next summer. I want to find the right partners to scale these solutions globally, and so 6 months.
Okay, good luck. Miguel.
Yeah, hiring, big time hiring, but remember, to get hiring, good hiring, you need capital. Capital is the only thing you cannot compete against, big time. If your competitor raises more capital than you, it's going to get your pool talent, big time. So my big concern in the next 12, 18 months is the cash run. You need to have good cash run for the next 12, 18 months, and capital efficiency. Capital efficiency is a must. I'm sorry, but sometimes you need to make hard decisions. I really like this book, The Hard Decisions, about hard decisions. That is really good, from Mike Hollerich. But capital efficiency is a must in 2023. Take your capital to the place in your company where you really need it, when it's going to grow. Because capital is going to be not limited, but you need to be in fundraising mood every single month. I believe in software company at least, you cannot compete against capital. So raising capital continuously, even if you had good, fundraising in the last few years, it's very expensive business, And you need the OPEX, you need to cover your OPEX, your expenses, and the next year is going to be tricky only to get money from banks and public companies probably, yeah.
Good cost efficiency, hire the right people,
exactly.
and find the right customers, so that's
exactly. Capital efficiency.
Kind of a big program for next year.
Basically it's that, yeah.
Olivier, you have the word of the end. So to you, what would be like the big things on the agenda for 2023?
On the agenda, well, no, I mean, I was...
Okay, just react
No,
anyway.
I mean, just because you said, basically what you said is money. Well, one thing also you all entrepreneurs are lacking is time. And,
True.
So it's sort of a final word, because time is the only thing you cannot buy.
Exactly.
Like it sounds...
I like that big time.
It's a perfect final word. Thank you for that, Olivier. And thanks a lot. I mean, you've been amazing. You've been really transparent and very open, and I think you bring a lot of insight to this panel. It's time maybe to give some question to the audience.
So I wanted to actually raise a comment about the advisors. Okay, so on the advisor side, one thing, when have you ever actually had an exterior advisor that provided value? And for me, the value of bringing an advisor is to help you to ask the right questions to your customers and to be able to help you shape how you go out to the market and ask your customers, not to provide you the answers. How would you respond to that?
Well, yeah, my answer would be what I already said. Independent board member will help you. I mean, apart from your employees or your staff or your team members, if you're looking for an external advisor, well, that person should be on your board.
I can believe if you got a good team, they will raise those questions. Those questions are raised for the good team. You don't get feedback from your team, whatever advisor you have is going to be useless. I believe the best advisor is your team. This is my personal opinion. I don't mean that you don't need advisors. I believe the best advisors is your own team, who's going to be raise your questions about this is wrong, you should not do that, etc. And again, independent board members is the right structure from my perspective for the right advisor. Advisors coming 1-2 hours every month to the company, again, I really believe they're useless. It's my personal opinion, maybe I'm wrong.
There was.
All right, so I'm going to play the advisor again. So one thing, Estelle, what we didn't discuss about, yeah, let me see that. Okay, one thing we didn't discuss about all you three together is what is your go-to-market strategy? Miguel, are you working in Spain? Are you working in Europe?
Okay.
Are you working in Americas? I saw you recently at APA in New Orleans.
Yep.
Same thing for all of you. What is your business model? Who are your customers? Because we never talk about customers. And I'm reaching to what Anne just said. This is, what is your focus on go-to-market? Can we discuss that?
So I'll be the start because I'm in
Go
the
ahead.
east of Europe, right? And then we go like that. We pivot, if it's possible to pivot every time when you feel that is not a good strategy. And for example, we are using a lot of growth hacks, even to employ right people, even to, let's say that our client are the carriers and the shippers. It was last year. But this year, our clients are the carriers and the freight forwarders because they have carriers and they have shippers, so we can grow faster with the freight forwarders, right? So this is a strategy that we can adopt. Another strategy is, I don't know, every time go on the right direction, and we don't develop any software without testing in the market. If it's working, if the market needs that software, then we develop. If not, we don't develop, we develop a small MVP and then we just throw it, right? Because the development is the most expensive thing in a tech company, because you need to spend 15,000 euro per month because you are not Microsoft, you are a small startup, and they need to trust you, and you need to buy them with more money, right?
Okay, well, good question, thanks. First of all, I have to say that we changed our go-to-market strategy because of COVID. So first it was planned to be, okay, Scandinavia, Europe, then outside Europe. And then suddenly, whole Europe is closed. There's no digitalization initiatives hardly anywhere. So then you try to reach out to the world. Okay, where is still development ongoing? For example, we did a project all the way in New Zealand. We never visited there, but we set up our platform there in 5 weeks' time. And said that, okay, well, that's scalable, even though you can't really be physically there. And that's, of course, then we started to making more partnerships. So we made these go-to-market partnerships with Intel, Kongsberg, Nextport, just to address different markets. And then finally, we now launched 2 weeks ago, we launched a marketplace. So, I mean, we call it Amazon for ports, but it's really how to automate all the buying and selling of port services and products. So we can bring now all the, even digital products, but everything in there, and help scale and help others with go-to-market. So that's different tactics, I suppose.
Well, I'm being told that Miguel's going to escape the question. Is that all right? Or maybe we have time for just Miguel
10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Is that something that we can negotiate?
Go-to-market strategy, land and expand. You land in a niche, nail the niche, go there to the public authority in the port, and expand to the private terminals. It's working very good. Actually, it's not a strategy. It's from my co-founder, Adrian, that is here, by the way. And we really land in one public authority in a port, for example, and from there we expand to the private terminals. Because in this business, in cargo and logistics, and basically in ports, people talk a lot between them. The Port of Barcelona talk with Seoul, Los Angeles, any port, they know each other and know which technology they're using, and land and expand strategy works very well for us, in my personal opinion.
Well, that's the word of the end, so thank you very much. Well done.